Hello everyone and welcome back to Adastra. My name is Link, the trained professional, and I'm fully fucking aware that I literally just played this the other day, but the episode went up today as of recording this, September the 22nd. So the point is, I'm aware that this just happened. Thing is I'm that's just what I'm interested in right now. I was really interested in editing the episode, and so when I did, I was like, I want more, and so I'm playing more. So there you go. I'm not even going to justify it in the future, because I feel like I try to prove myself way too goddamn much, and it's not necessary, so I'm just going to keep going. As a matter of fact, why? Hey, William! Hey, William! Hey, William! How are you? There's the end of the great cliffhanger. He's doing great. I don't imagine he's doing great. I walk over to the dresser opening, the one that's full of children's robes. You know, like the dresser you have in your room that's full of children's robes? By the way, right now is probably not the time I should be recording, now that I'm thinking about it. Not only are we about to have a bunch of people over, so there's a bunch of stuff going on, and we're introducing a new dog to the house, but my throat is, guys, a little bit of something going on there. I think it's about time to replace this bottle. Fortunately, I already bought a new one. It's over there. But, Now, I want to play more of the game, goddammit. I'm going to do it. Really? Sure. I hear Amicus huff behind me. Please, I don't want to deal with that mood of yours right now. I just want to talk. That's a good way to start a conversation. I don't want to deal with this mood you're in. Oh boy, Amicus, you are such a passion project. I actually gotta put on my glasses. I hope I get frames soon that, like, I feel comfortable in all the time, because this shit is not doing well. That's fair, but him telling me to stop sulking is just making me sulkier. You know, I would have loved to just talk like a week ago about this stupid trial. Imagine how much better it would have gone if I had actually memorized the dance rather than just following cues from you in the song. I whip out a robe. Which, by the way, isn't a song! You always make fun of Earthlings in our primitive ways, but at least we actually have a variety of music. Oh, and we can actually sing, not these creepy howling sounds that sounds like you're dying. Amicus frowns at me, his ears flat. You're upset. Now what made you think that? Stop it, William. I'm just as upset and disappointed as you probably are. Was it the cameras, maybe Cato, that made you nervous? What happened? I'm quiet for a moment as I start tying on my robe. Then suddenly Amicus's paw reaches out, grabbing my right hand and yanking it away from my clothing. What happened to your paw? I look up and see the wolf staring at the palm side of my hand with wide eyes before turning it this way and that. What? Your skin, it's bunching up. Are you having a reaction to the powder? I stare at him confused before pulling my hand away to look at my pruny fingers. No, I was just in the shower too long. My skin does that when I'm wet for a long time. I've never noticed that before. You take short showers. The wolf frowns at me, then snatches my hand back up again to stare at the fingers in fascination, even as I try to yank it back. At that point, I feel my mood about to take a turn in one of two directions, either exploding at Amicus in frustration, or anger over everything. And anger over everything, or just laughing. I found myself doing the latter, chuckling at first before letting out a loud guffaw. Amicus gives me a strange look, finally letting me go. Are you sure you're alright? You're worrying me. I sigh as I finish tying on my robe before flopping back onto the bed, hands above my head as I let the pleasant cool air drift down from the ceiling to blanket my body. I know I'm going to get cold in a few minutes, but for now it feels good. Remember how you said the lingua has trouble translating some things? Yes, I hear the wolf pause as he figures out what went wrong. Heard nothing but wailing Latin in that howling noise. I had no idea what I was doing. Oh, God. There's a heavy thump, and I feel the mattress crater and tilt sideways a bit as Amicus sits down next to me. So yeah. William, I'm so sorry. I didn't even contemplate that possibility. It's fine. I don't think either of us could have. I mean, I've listened to music from the Cats before. I've never had that issue with lyrics translating. I shrug. I don't know. Doesn't the lingua try to understand intention too? Maybe I'm meant to hear the true language when you guys sing? It wasn't happening while you were doing your song, even though I didn't realize it then. Oh, you heard me sing? I can hear the embarrassment in Amicus's voice. Yeah, sounded fine, honestly. I was just being a dick earlier. I know. But still, I'm tired of you trashing on human culture. I know. And I knew that makeup was offensive, by the way. I looked like an idiot for all of Adastra to see. You looked good! I turned my head toward the wolf. Oh really? Fumbling around like an idiot with no clue of what he's doing looks good. Amicus stays quiet this time. I stare back up at the ceiling. I guess at least I'm keeping up the dumb, primitive ape act, right? Amicus just sighs, getting up. I watch as he slowly walks over to the sofa and sit down. I have to say that although you are a very kind, intelligent person, you're very frustrating when you get into these moods. Frustrating? Just so gloomy and self-defeating. Remind me of Casius sometimes. I pull a face. Since when is he self-defeating? He seems pretty full of himself to me. You don't know the real Cass. He very much dislikes himself. Also, don't compare me to your brother. I really don't want to be thinking about him right now. I'm just saying, I prefer you in lighter spirits. It suits you more. I'll work on it. A long silence goes by, and with the way that Amicus is shifting around, I can tell he wants to ask me something. Oh God, really? What is it? Well, of course he was going to ask about that. I guess that little celebration is out of the question now. The dinner? I sit up suddenly, giving him an incredulous look. Seriously? Whoa, I was just kidding. We just lost the trial. You're one trial away from losing the emperorship, and you're seriously thinking about that? I was just having a bit of fun. No, you want a pity handy. It's not like I need you to do it. I can get the job done myself. Then do it. I will! Angus sits there huffily, not making eye contact. I sigh, remembering what the wolf had said about improving my mood. I often criticize Amicus for his tantrums, reminding him that it won't help us to sulk. It's kind of hypocritical that I don't hold myself to the same standards. Sorry. I've just got a lot on my mind, obviously. Listen, I know this went much differently than what we had planned, but I will certainly win the next trial. I've defeated Casius many times before. Do I have to do anything? Other than watch, no. When is it? 2 weeks from now. You'd better win. I will. I sigh again, realizing that the knot I've had in my stomach the past few weeks has a bit longer to stick around. And I might still... I make a jacking motion in the air. Later on, I'm just not in the right state of mind right now. I understand. It was too early to make light of things, though. Maybe we could do something else that would make us both feel better. Something else. Yes, like I could just hold you. Amicus's voice gets uncharacteristically high on the last word. Hold you? Hold me. I repeat his words. Why would you want to do that? Well, companionship is part of pet duties, and holding or embracing is often how it's expressed. It might also be comforting to you, considering how stressful the past few weeks have been. Again, that hopeful look, and again, I actually feel bad for him. How lonely do you have to be to just want to cuddle someone? Not at all! I love cuddling, what the fuck? But at the same time, I want to. I might not want to admit it, but I've actually been lonely these past 3 weeks, emotionally and physically. Also, I've really liked our short hugs, so a longer one. Trying not to look too eager myself, I sigh and stand up. Amicus's ears immediately perk up in happy surprise. He leans back, legs together, waiting as I walk up to him. Do you... I sit down in his lap, a little awkwardly at first, as I wobble around, and finally settle on turning sideways, knees drawn up as I lean my shoulder against his chest. Amicus pauses, then wraps his arms around me. Despite the awkward start, I'm amazed at the way I just sort of fit against the curve of his body. His big, furry arms envelop me, and I feel the muscles tighten briefly before relaxing. His soft stomach cushions against my side, making it feel as if I'm leaning against a big, furry, but firm waterbed. His chest is broad and thick, propping my head up comfortably as he scoots his butt a bit out to help us better recline. Then he tucks my head under his chin, and just like that, I'm surrounded by his warmth, the cold that had started to bite at my bare skin dissipating immediately. I feel a little thrill in my chest at the feeling of having this wolf so large and powerful hug and cuddle me so gently. Something about that is so nice. Amicus just holds me there in silence for a while, and I feel his paws shift around a bit like he's kneading through the robe to the skin on my back. Finally, his deep voice rumbles through his chest and against my ear. Is this alright? Yeah, this is fine. I blush, embarrassed at how much I'm enjoying this. Originally, I just wanted to make him feel better, but he was right about this making me feel better. Amicus rubs his chin down against the top of my head, and I hear him inhale. I suppose this isn't a normal thing to do on Earth? Well, it is if you're dating someone. It's not a usual thing with friends, though. Amicus paws at me a bit more, making those tiny movements as if he's trying to feel me as much as possible without being obvious about it. What is dating on your planet? I shrug, though it's hard to do against the wolf's tight embrace. Just asking someone you like out on a date basically just means you like the person and you want to know more about them, and dating helps you do that. Oh, sounds fairly casual. How does one initiate dating? I don't know, just ask them, give them flowers if you're old-fashioned, but it's pretty casual, honestly. Why are you so curious? It's Amicus's turn to shrug. I always want to be careful about your boundaries. It's easier when I understand your culture better. I lean against the wolf, realizing that even though I'd made a complete fool of myself just a half hour ago, I feel fine. I kind of hope that this isn't the last time we do something like this. Knowing Amicus, it likely won't be. It's a few days later when I'm finally able to hang out with Alex like we planned. Casius had stepped up his campaigning of the past several days as his chances of becoming emperor increased. So did Amicus after his decreased. The difference being that Alex often found himself going on campaign trips with the White Wolf, while Amicus always left me behind. I think Amicus had picked up on the fact that I don't like being out in front of so many people after the whole dance incident. Still, he promises me that when he wins the next trial, we'll go out to the city to celebrate. For now, though, I'm happy to stay in the gardens with Alex, enjoying a quiet midday meal as we both talk and sip our tea. Honestly, they should have us redo the dance if your lingua wasn't translating. Was yours? Well, no, but I knew it wouldn't. Wolves never intend for their lyrics to translate over the lingua because it ruins the howl, which they see to be the whole point of the singing. I can understand Amicus overlooking that, though. Most wolves never see another sibling species in person in their entire lives. Well, it's over now. On to the debate thing they're gonna do next. Oh yes, Casius has been training with the best rhetorician ever on the moon, Marcus Manius. Manius, really? I notice that he puts a bit of emphasis on the name, and I look over at him. Alex sips at his tea daintily, watching the fountain lazily.
He's offered Casius many tips on convincing the triumvirates. Very useful tips, actually. Is Amicus doing anything similar?
I'm going to try this without the glasses now. They're starting to hurt. I realize then that Alex is offering me information on what Casius is doing to prepare for the trial. At least I think he is. Whether that's the case or not, I try to remember the name of the rhetoric guy. My dumbass, rhetoric. Knowing I should tell Amicus later. I'm not really sure. He hasn't told me all that much about what he's doing, but hopefully it's something similar.
Well, I recommend he study the triumvirates and their cities, if only to find the best way to convince them during the second trial.
Yep, definitely offering me information. Thing is, after seeing the way he and Casius interacted, I wonder if I can fully trust him. You know, Casius was saying something earlier while I was serving him about a week ago. Did you know he has plans to get rid of the triumvirates? Alex's eyes widened for a moment.
Oh, really? I wonder why.
Something about it being easier to rule directly rather than through elected officials.
Well, that's some radical thinking, isn't it?
That's what Virginia said.
Well, she's always been rather reasonable, honestly.
Alex leans in, lowering his voice. I'd rather she become the Empress, but unfortunately the wolves don't allow females to hold positions of much authority, so her chances at the throne are nil. Alex's eyes suddenly widen as he looks over my shoulder. I raise my eyebrows, then look back to see Neferu making his way towards us. Oh lord, I knew that spacing was going to lead to something. I turn around to see Alex looking down and towards the ground, his tail lashing around before he holds it in his lap. Oh, okay. The jackal stops to stand in front of us. Without a word, he delicately takes one of Alex's paws and bows low to kiss it. Alex raises his other paw to his mouth, blushing furiously. Meanwhile, Neferu just nods at me. Oh, God, it had to be this voice.
Good day, Alex and William. How was your midday meal?
Alex still had his paw to his mouth, so I answer for him. It's okay. How are you?
Splendid.
I noticed then that he's carrying a bottle in his paw, the glass glinting in the sunlight with his every move.
I was just taking a walk through the gardens this morning when I happened across a shockingly large spider that skidded across the ground at my paws.
Neferu sweeps his paw in front of himself, as if showing where the spider ran.
I can't help but wonder if I'm in danger here.
Alex finally speaks up then, squeaking with the first syllable.
No, they're rather harmless. Their venom is very mild.
Oh, well, that's a relief to hear. Here, Alex, on my own planet, I'd often have to shake my loincloths out before wearing them just in case of scorpions.
Luigi's boofy. You want the ball? You want to sit? Go get the half a ball.
Oh, really? That's terrifying.
It certainly can be, but it's something you get used to.
Alex and Neferu smile at each other for a moment, and I frown at the cat, wondering what the hell he's doing.
Oh, yes, I came to give you this.
Neferu leans down and holds out the glass bottle. Now I see it's filled with a honey-colored liquid that sloshes lazily in the bottle.
The Buna seed oil I promised. Much better for the fur than the Adastra oils they have for us.
Alex reaches out and takes the bottle, blushing again.
Thank you, Neferu. I'll use it first thing tomorrow.
And I'll see you again tomorrow to make sure you do.
The jackal winks, and I think I hear Alex made a strangled noise in his throat.
In the meantime, would you like to take a walk with me?
Nefer once again extends a paw. Alex coughs awkwardly before reaching out to take it.
Wonderful. You're always such great company. Would you like to join us as well, William?
I think back to what happened in the baths. No, thanks.
In that case, I'll see you around the palace.
Yeah, see you, William.
Yeah, that's lovely. Just sort of take the person we were talking to and just leave. Dick. Neferu offers his arm to the cat, and and just like that, they're off into the gardens, disappearing around the many bushes lining the footpaths. I stare after them a bit confused, still unclear on what exactly the jackal is doing. I'm also reminded that I need to ask Alex about why the hell he told Neferu about my intelligence. Only problem is, I don't know how to do that without seeming suspicious. Technically, there isn't any reason why it's supposed to be a secret, and I feel like bringing it up will only give the cat reason to dig more deeply. As I'm wondering all of this, I notice a shape in the bushes, near the ones Alex and Neferu disappeared behind. I see a flash of red and maybe an elbow poking out. What, the Amicus? I yell out in his direction. I see the wolf jump, suddenly coming out from behind his cover.
Yes, I was just having a look at the roses.
The wolf walks towards me, his paws behind his back. I raise an eyebrow at him. Are you spying on us? Were you trying to avoid Neferu or something? Amicus ignores me this time.
How was your day, William?
Okay. I try to look around the wolf's side at whatever he's hiding behind his back, and he turns accordingly to keep it obscured. What are you doing?
Well...
Amicus takes a deep breath, and I feel myself starting to get nervous. Then he goes down to one knee. Oh, Jesus, with the fucking piano music and everything.
William, over the past few weeks, I've come to enjoy your company immensely.
My mouth drops.
And over the past few weeks, I've come to realize that we share so much in common in terms of our goals and desires.
Amicus gives me a coy smile at that. What are you...
So I decided I should take the next step, to make you feel more welcome and to show you how much I appreciate your kindness and understanding.
The wolf suddenly swings his paw to his front, revealing what he'd been hiding. It's a bouquet of purple flowers. Lavenders, to be exact. Ooh, those are good. Along with several smaller white flowers sprinkled into the mix.
William, will you date me?
The music stops. I stare at the wolf, still taking in the presentation he'd just given me. My mouth still hangs open, and I make a few sounds as I try to form a coherent sentence to respond in my mind.
I probably messed that up, huh? Well, hopefully the message comes across clearly. What do you think?
I am stunned.
And that's good?
Amicus, what is this?
I did something wrong, didn't I?
Well, I mean, did you mean to do it? The whole thing is crazy, but Amicus's demeanor doesn't really match with the proposal he'd just made.
Did I mean to ask you out on a date?
Well, yeah. Did you?
Yes.
The wolf was really fidgeting, tugging at his cape nervously as he lowers the bouquet to hang limply at his side. I have an odd butterflies in the stomach feeling that won't seem to go away. I don't know what it means, but I try to ignore it. The wolf suddenly deflates, looking dejected.
Did I pick up the incorrect meaning?
I clear my throat, trying to gather my wits. What do you think dating is?
Well, what you told me. It's a relationship status that enables you to become closer, learn more about each other, along with normalizing physical intimacy.
Well, he seems to have it down for the most part. The part I'm having trouble with, though... Well, people that date also tend to have, I guess, feelings for each other.
Well, yes, I have very friendly feelings toward you, and I want to make you more comfortable around me, especially when it comes to physical intimacy. Isn't that part of dating?
I sigh, realizing that I hadn't explained it well enough. And then I hadn't realized that Amicus was planning to do this either, and I hadn't planned it. Well, usually people don't do it unless they love each other. My voice gets quieter and quieter over the course of the sentence until Amicus has to poke his ears in order forward to hear me.
Love.
Yeah.
Oh.
Amicus stands there a moment before the inside of his ears turn bright red.
You said it was casual!
He just asked to be fucking friends with benefits, essentially. It was what it seems like. Wolf raises his voice, the sudden increase in volume making me jump. Oh, well, it is! I mean, you don't necessarily have to be in love today, but the intention is to usually find the love. Dear gods, was your intention just to humiliate me after the dance? The hell are you talking about? How was I supposed to know you were planning this? I think me asking those questions had made it fairly obvious. You assume way too much. Clearly. Wolf tosses the bouquet to the side, letting it land on the bench before it rolls to the ground. Amicus slumps onto the bench next to me, his ears still red. Let him grumble to himself for a minute or two, wanting to let him cool off from the initial embarrassment. I reach up and rest a hand on his broad shoulder. Sorry, I didn't mean to embarrass you. Besides, how are you supposed to know? It's an Earth thing. Amicus waves a paw. Fine, like you said, I assumed too much. Lean over to pick up the bouquet, seeing how the flowers just kind of looked bunched together. You made this yourself? Well, yes. The garden has many flowers. It smells like you. Yes. It looks good. Thank you. Sit quietly for a few more minutes as I pretend to examine all the flowers in the bouquet. So, it's either friendship or love with humans. No physical intimacy unless you're bound to fall in love. What do you mean? Like this dating culture you have. You were very interested in giving me that sexual favor. Does that mean you're also interested in love with me as well? I blush. Not exactly. Didn't you say dating allows for more intimacy, but dating is also meant to look for love? I sigh and set the bouquet aside. Things are changing, becoming more casual. I say the word carefully, and Amicus snorts. But I guess the term you might be looking for is friends with benefits. Benefits? Friends that have sex, basically. Oh, I see. We haven't done that, though. No, but I'm not gonna make you date me just to get a hand job. Amicus scratches behind his head before looking away again. Once again, I find myself feeling bad for him. Listen, if we weren't having this whole... I lower my voice. Illegal space adventure, I might say yes. What, really? I said might. No, really. I think you're missing a key word there. I think I understand. So turning red again, wishing I'd just kept my mouth shut. Well, maybe I might as well. Well, you already asked. Without knowing the full meaning. I try to think of something else to change the subject, knowing that my blush is as clear as day to the wolf, and that he's very much enjoying it. Anyway, Alexius told me that Casius was training under a rhetoric person, Marcus Manlius or something. Amicus suddenly frowns. Marcus Manius? Really? I think that's what he said. Damn. Amicus' tone is that of awe. Damn. Is that bad? It's simply surprising. He's the most famous Adastran rhetorician there is. Or rhetorician, I don't know. Should I be worried? No, in fact, now that you've told me, I'm in much better shape. I now have an idea of what style he might use, so that will make it easier to counter his points. Oh Lord. Alex is not fucking trustworthy. He's fucking with us. If you're sure. Of course. Now come to my room and help me practice, just to make extra certain I'll win. We get up and walk back to the palace through the gardens, leaving the bouquet of flowers behind on the bench. Amicus seems to have gotten over his embarrassment about the whole incident pretty quickly. Just like him to be able to do that, actually. In fact, we're laughing and talking just as easily as we always have, the wolf nudging me every few minutes to punctuate something he said, each one causing me to stumble. Anyway, Cass tends to stutter over his words in front of large crowds. I don't identify. Not much of a rhetorician can do about that. Wolf reaches out a paw, pressing it to the black square. Besides, what exactly is he... Amicus and I stare in surprise as Casius stares back at us with what looks to be even more surprise. Then his eyes narrow. Excuse me. Tries to move around us, but Amicus blocks his way, growling. What the hell are you doing in here, Casius? Amicus seems to reserve his actual yelling only for Casius, so it makes me jump when I hear it. Casius collects himself quickly, despite Amicus's intimidating snarls. Not much of your business, is it? If you're in my room, then it's my business. What are you doing? The wolf starts to advance on Casius, stopping just feet away. Move, Amicus, otherwise I'm calling Cato. Amicus eyes Casius closely, then finally pulls back, folding his arms. Snooping around to find something that might give you a chance in the trial. I can tell you now that you'll be coming up short. Obviously. You've nothing to offer to help me win. Then why come here? Casius ignores the other wolf, walking past Amicus before passing by me. He turns then. And you know I shouldn't be so worried after your pitiable display that you and your pet put on. He turns to me and I can't help but frown at him. As stupid as he is ugly. I know that Casius is trying to get under Amicus's skin. He knows that he cares about me. As Casius reaches around to brush my chin with a paw, I can't stop myself from batting it away. Casius' eyes widen then, and I see his paw draw back. I flinch, but immediately Amicus is there, reaching out to grab Casius by his cape. Oh shit. The smaller wolf was pulled back from me, but Amicus doesn't stop there. As Casius stumbles past Amicus, the bigger wolf swings his paw, smacking Casius square in the nose. Oh shit. Oh fuck. Casius immediately goes down on his ass, at which point I hear another sound. Amicus and I stare down at the smaller wolf as he sits there stunned, and he suddenly scrambles up to his feet, a paw to his rear. Amicus, you bastard! Oh, I'm not screaming that. I'm not screaming that. I'm not screaming anything, as a matter of fact. That's... Ooh. Okay. I take a step back as Casius practically sprays blood from his mouth. Amicus pulls me to his side, eyes narrowed, but I can feel his heart hammering against my shoulder. Ooh. I'll have you both in the dungeon I'll throw you both in the dungeon for that. I'll have him executed when I'm emperor. I see tears start to spill out of Casius' eyes before he turns and stumbles out of the room, his tail hanging limply to the side. Oh shit. Amicus and I stand there for a long time after he leaves, the silence almost oppressive after the loud fight. A few minutes later, Amicus is flat on his stomach, looking under his bed as he mumbles something under his breath. I stand awkwardly off to the side, watching as he sweeps a paw underneath, as if feeling for something. What are you doing? Amicus grunts as he gets to his knees and stands up, looking at the ceiling as he turns in a slow circle. Looking for whatever Cass might have been doing. You know what he was doing? I have my suspicions. Which are... Amicus stops his turning and looks at me, folding his arms. Well, I'm not sure, but a recording device, possibly. Or he was just snooping for information. Will I just ask calm? No, his capabilities are very limited despite what his intelligence might suggest. He doesn't record our activities specifically, so we can't spy at each other. Rules put in place millennia ago. I sigh and look at the door, still feeling a little shaken up at what just happened. Why can't you lock the door or something? Amicus shrugs. That's something only the Emperor can do. Again, rules that have been in place for a very long time. That doesn't seem safe.
Well, only the most trusted are allowed in the palace after all, which tends to be only family.
Aside from Neferu.
Aside from him, yes.
You don't have much freedom for being the Emperor's son.
You just noticed.
Amicus huffs and stands in the middle of the room, his arms folded, a deep frown on his face. He's probably just trying to find out what you were planning for the next trial. We know some stuff about him already. Amicus continues to look concerned. What is it?
Amicus
lowers his voice.
Worry it might have something to do with you. After what he said as he was leaving, it's left me uneasy is all.
Oh yeah. The thing about executing me. I haven't had much time to think about the possibility of someone on the verge of near absolute power wanting me dead yet. Do you think he was serious? Amicus is quiet for a moment.
No, but obviously I'm not going to assume he wasn't. I won't even give him a chance at the emperorship now.
I frown. And you were going to before?
No, I'm just going to make extra sure now.
I'm quiet, deciding to sit on the bed instead. I don't like what the situation has become a lot more... I don't like that the situation has become a lot more serious than it already was. After a moment, Amicus comes to sit next to me, the depression he creates in the mattress forcing me to lean sideways into him. He wraps an arm around me.
Don't worry about it all. He has no chance. And besides, I wouldn't let him touch you.
How would you be able to do that if he's the Emperor, though? By the way, in case you're hearing all that, Spoof has this, like, plastic... That's not plastic, necessarily. Ew, it's fucking gross. Ew. It's this, like, big bone thing. It's part of this, like, big bone. He has one of the edges, and, he had decided to start going to town on that thing right next to me. Not that I don't mind him being around, but, like... It's noisy, you know?
Well, I'm also his older brother. Some relationships don't change, even if the official ones do.
I stay quiet, unconvinced.
Anyway, it would look awfully bad on his record. He just let his anger get the best of him. He'll quickly forget about the matter with the next trial coming up.
Amicus squeezes me.
And this is all assuming he'd win. He won't.
That's what you said last time.
And we had an unforeseeable mishap last time. There isn't much possibility for one of those to happen in this trial.
Famous last words. We sit there a while longer, Amicus rubbing my shoulder with his paw. Despite my rising anxiety, it's comforting. And before long, I'm leaning my head against his shoulder.
Slow fade out.
Man. Well, I'll tell you this. I am not done recording this for today. I really want to play more, and so I'm going to. But I am going to give Editor Me a little bit more of leeway, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this episode off here, as well as giving a little more digestibility to y'all. So I'll go ahead and end this episode here. Thank you all very much for watching. Let's go ahead and do the end slate. On the left, you got patrons. Everyone who donated on Patreon, including a super patron. Thank you all very much for doing that. On the right, you have a video recommended to you by YouTube, as well as the most recent one uploaded. Links for all social medias and everything in the description. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.